Today, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. I know, right? Huge surprise. Honestly, we're going to be just talking about why we need Bitcoin. Why the banks hate Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. Stay tuned for more. Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. Today is Tuesday, March 12th, 2019. I cannot believe that it's already been 3 months and counting into 2019. It's pretty intense. I don't know. For me anyway, it's just moving pretty quickly. That's what she said. Alright guys, well, let's get to it. Let's get to what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about just Bitcoin and why we need Bitcoin. What's the point of Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin such a revolutionary thing? Why do banks hate Bitcoin? So on and so forth. Well, first off, I want to read you a little something that I found in my Instagram today. It's a quote by Satoshi Nakamoto. For those of you guys out there that have been living under a rock for a while, welcome. But anyways, Satoshi Nakamoto was the guy or the entity that invented Bitcoin. We don't know who Satoshi is. There's a lot of people out there that claim to be the Satoshi guy, but at the end of the day, we really don't know. And I think that's what adds not just to the mystery, but to the awesomeness of what Bitcoin is. Once you really understand this technology and what it really represents, and you read some of Satoshi's things, you realize why this stuff was created and why it's so necessary and needed for us. So again, let me just go back to what I saw earlier today on my Instagram. It was a quote from Satoshi, and as soon as I read that, I was like, you know what, this will make a great episode, because a lot of times a lot of us forget why we're in this space. Before I even read it though, I want to just say that I know there's a lot of people in this space, a lot of people in this space. In fact, most of my viewers as well, that are in this space just to make money. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because you know, that's, you know, we've talked about this in many episodes before, and we've talked about, you know, the advantages of being able to know so much about all this technology and the space at this moment in time, in which anyone can use this information and this knowledge and these skills that are learned during this time in order to really maximize profit and make money and so on and so forth. Now, there's a few of us out here, not many. I consider myself one of these people, which I don't, even though I could literally flip my resources, flip my script, in the sense that, like, I can, instead of dedicating myself to making art, dedicating myself to making these videos, dedicating myself to all these other things, I can literally dedicate myself to technical analysis or reading the charts, or, you know, trading and making money, or creating, you know, schemes, or creating things, projects, in order to just make money, do money, you know, just do that whole thing. But that's not why I'm in this space for. You know, this is why I struggle sometimes, because I relegate, you know, my, you know, making money, my financial situation, to doing other stuff, you know, what I really love, my art. Hence why I'm a starving artist. For now. It's all in cycles, as we all know. And the reality is because another reason why I dedicate myself to making all this content is because this is what I enjoy, as opposed to, you know, just, you know, making money and doing that whole money thing. I've been down that route before. It's satisfying at first, but after a while, it's not so satisfying, you know. But again, that's just my own personal reason as to why I don't do that. But for anyone out there that all they do care about is making money within the space, hey, listen, I encourage you guys to do it, you know, because at the end of the day, we all need money. We all need to pay bills. We all need to better ourselves. We all need to grow, and so on and so forth. All of us have done different things at one point in time in order to do this. I used to work on the streets, wink wink, and so on and so forth. We all got to do what we got to do. I understand that. And again, it doesn't really matter what you're trading. If you're trading XRP, if you're trading Bitcoin, if you're trading the Qs on the stock market, whatever it is. Right now, we're living through a really insane time in human and financial history and world history and just all these things. And so if you know how to play the game and you know how to play your cards right, then you're able to really maximize how you can make all this money. Again, why I'm always talking about Gregory Mannarino. Check him out, okay? Check out his channel. He will provide you on how to really make money, and why I don't really step down or step on people or step on anyone's idealism as to why they're in this space. Look, at the end of the day, you're in this space. That's it. And hopefully, if you are smart enough to understand everything, you know, as you're in here making money, you also get to learn what this stuff is really for and really get to take advantage of all this stuff. Now, if you're in it just for the money, just like a lot of people are in whatever, you know, Nutrisystem, or what's that shit called? I forgot, you know, those shakes or whatever. The point is that, you know, there's all kinds of things, you know what I mean, that are just in it for the money, and people are just doing it for that and they don't really care. And that's okay too. But look, I don't want to diverge too much on the conversation. Okay, I really don't want to fucking, you know, go too far away from what I was going to talk about today. Because again, I'm here to talk about this quote that I read from Satoshi Nakamoto, which I'm going to read to you guys right now real quick, and we're going to discuss that, okay? As to why Bitcoin was invented, why we need Bitcoin, and why it's so important more than anything else. Okay? All right, so let's do this. The root problem with conventional currency is all the trust that's required to make it work. So that's one thing that a lot of us seem to forget. In order for the financial system to work, you know, everything from the banks to our credit cards to our debit cards to just the whole system, it needs trust. It needs blind trust from the people. We are so far down this road right now in which the collective as a whole of all the people have already given blind trust to the banks, to the people, to the governments, to the people in power. That is why every single day we are losing more and more rights. We're losing more and more freedoms. We're losing the ability to do what we really want to do because we have given these entities, the banks and governments, blind trust in the whole, not just the financial system, but the system as a whole. So again, you know, why we need Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Bitcoin is a trustless technology, a trustless currency. Something that I can purchase something with, just like if I was using cash, in the sense that we all know that this is value no matter what, and no one can take its value away from it, just like gold, just like silver. All right. The central bank must be trusted not to debase the currency, aka devalue the currency. We gotta trust our government and banks to not devalue the currency. But again, how well does that work out? How well has that ever worked out? Exactly. Banks must be trusted to hold our money and transfer it electronically. Again, as days goes on, as all these, as everything gets, as the snowball keeps getting bigger, we are literally seeing that we can't trust these entities anymore. Right now, if you say the wrong thing on YouTube, if you type the wrong thing on Twitter, if you just act the wrong way, if you say the wrong thing, if you behave the way in which they don't like, then all of a sudden they close your bank account. They take you off the grid, me included. And why? It's part of censorship. It's part of quieting down the dissentants. All right? They don't want the truth to get out there. And again, we've already witnessed this a million times in history. The truth is getting out there. All this stuff is happening. There's the Pandora's box is open. There's nothing they can do about it. But just giving you guys a little bit of perspective as to all this stuff. I hope this video is making sense. Let me see. Banks must be trusted to hold our money and transfer it electronically, but they lend it out in waves of credit bubbles with barely a fraction in reserve. And again, We all know about fractional reserve banking. If you don't know what that is, I suggest you stop looking at my video and go check it out. What is fractional reserve banking? Again, just a quick explanation. Whenever you deposit any money into the bank, that money doesn't exist anymore. Meaning, if you deposit $100 into the bank only has to hold $1, if that, out of your $100. That's why when you go to the bank and you say, hey, can I get $5,000 or $10,000? It's this whole thing. Literally, you know, you should just go to a bank, and if you got enough money in there, say, hey, I need $10,000. Show your ID, show your identification, boom, you got the money. But that's not how it works. That's not how it works, because they control everything. And with the fractional reserve banking, again, you put $100 in the bank, you expect those $100 to be there. But the reality is that immediately, the minute you put that money in the bank, they lend it out. They put it out there. They use it somewhere else, and your money's gone. You know, just like that. I can't put this scene because I get blocked, but just like in the South Park, you know? It's like, oh, okay, we're going to put your money into the big something account, and we're going to put your money here, and we're going to make it grow, and it's gone. Yeah. Okay? There's a reason why I can play a bunch of South Park, but I can never play that one. Think. Let me see. We have to trust them with our privacy. Trust them not to let identity thieves drain our accounts. Okay, and that's the end of the quote. I know, I butchered the whole thing. But again, it's all about trust, trust, trust. We have to trust these corporations. We have to trust these banks. We have to trust all of these individuals out there that they say that they have our best interest in mind. But the reality is, we have been shown over and over and over and over again that they actually have their own interest in mind. They don't have our interest in mind. And if you look at the laws, you know, again, I'm trying not to go down too many rabbit holes. You know, you guys got to do some of your own homework. But if you go down through the laws and you know how capitalism works, the first law, you know, when it comes to like capitalism, is that a corporation's #1 duty is to make money no matter what. So if all of a sudden corporation Y, you know, let's say Apple, you know, kills 10 employees in the process of making profit, whether they commit suicide, whether they kill them through working them 100 hours a day, whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. Once Apple or Apple's lawyers are standing in front of the judge and the judge asks them, hey, what the hell, man? You killed 10 employees. You know what? You know why? Or these 10 employees, you know, worked so hard that they died. You know, what's your excuse or reasoning for that? And all Apple has to say, or any corporation, is say, hey, listen, we are just trying to make profit. If they would have stayed alive, we would have made $1,000. But since they died by working so hard, we made $10,000. And so since, you know what I mean? Since that's the case, then we are clean from any wrongdoing, because the law literally says that the #1 priority of any corporation or any company is to make money, and make money for its shareholders. So that alone supersedes whatever anything else that could happen. So if 10 employees end up dying because they work so hard, you know, in order to make this profit, well, then that's just the cost of business. It's an expense. It's a business expense. That's all it is, and that's all it's ever written down as. And that's why no matter how horrible these corporations act, not just in the US, but all over the world, they never ever get in trouble, because according to the laws, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. A little more food for thought. So again, just to come full circle as to why Bitcoin and crypto and the blockchain is so important and so necessary. Again, we could talk, you know, there's many episodes on my own channel talking about all these reasons as to why it's important. But, you know, this is just a quick reminder as to why Satoshi really created Bitcoin. It's to get away from the banking system. It's to destroy the banking system. He literally created a brand new banking system for us, the people, to use. Why? That's why I always bring up, you know, 500 years ago, and I bring up Martin Luther, the printing press, the church, the Bible, and all this stuff. because it's just exactly the same. Up until that point in time, we didn't have any power. It was only a few people that printed a few Bibles, and they had all the power, and they told everybody else what they had to do. Then eventually this thing called the printing press came out. This guy named Martin Luther came out, and he just couldn't keep his mouth shut, and he couldn't stop printing the real Bible to the people. And then once the people really got the real knowledge and started educating themselves on what was going on, that's it. It was game over. It took a while, but it happened. Same thing is happening right now. Okay, everything that's cryptocurrency is literally the printing press. Okay, and everyone that we hold so dear within our space, whether it's a Satoshi, which we don't know who he is, or someone like Trace Mayer, or just others out there, you know, Andres Antonopoulos and so on and so forth. These guys are the Martin Luthers of our time. Okay, and they are out there every single day spreading knowledge, spreading knowledge, spreading knowledge, spreading knowledge, and in hopes, same as what I do, I dedicate myself to just spreading knowledge, because I know that I'm probably not going to be building or creating anything that's going to revolutionize the world or change the world. But I do know that if I'm out here spreading knowledge, that there is somebody out there on the other end of this screen watching me, listening to me, checking out other videos, not of mine, but of other people within the space, and educating themselves and saying, oh wow, wait a minute, I can change the world. I can create something. I have the tools, I have the knowledge, I have the whatever. Now I really understand what's going on. Let me now do my part. Okay? And that goes in any sense, okay? Like I said, we're all doing our part. All of us. This is what I do. This is my part. I'm just here sounding the alarm, letting everybody know, educating everybody, spreading knowledge, so on and so forth. Okay? No matter what it is I do. Okay? Whether I'm talking about crypto, talking about Mexico, talking about whatever. That's all I want to do. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay? And we each need to figure out what it is that we want to do, we need to do. Look at the space as a whole and see, where do I fit in? Where do you fit in? How can you help? Okay? And any help is needed. Again, even in times of war, you know, sometimes all a soldier needs is a drink of water. You follow me? Everyone and everything is needed, and everything is important. So are you. Okay? Even if you're just spreading the knowledge, you've done your part. All right, guys. Well, I really hope that today's episode was informative. I hope that today's episode was a quick reminder as to why crypto and Bitcoin is so important. It's here to replace the banks. It's here to replace the current currency that we have, the current system that we have, and to replace it with a better system. Sure, change is hard. Not everybody enjoys change, and change is definitely very difficult, and sometimes it doesn't happen peacefully, but in the end it's usually very beneficial, and in this case it's extremely beneficial to the human race, and it's beneficial to all of us. And if you really want to talk about saving the world or Green New Deal or the planet or any of this shit, this is just as important or more important than anything else that we talk about. Okay? This is about the currency. It's about the power. Okay? If we, the people, get control of this once again, then we can really do some damage, meaning we can fix the planet. We can take these politicians out. We can help the poor. We can build bridges. We can insert thing here. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys. Love you to death. I have a poll that I took on my channel asking you guys if you guys want me to do a Mexico live stream. It seems to be getting a very positive reaction, so now I just want to know what would be the best day for me to do this. I'm thinking maybe Saturday, but we will play this by ear and we will figure it out together. And also seeing how many of these I can do. I'm going to do a month and so on and so forth. But let's keep that conversation going. Let's keep this conversation going. Let's keep all these conversations going, okay? And guys, I love you to death. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon, please leave a comment, please continue spreading this knowledge, continue doing your part, okay? And no matter what we're in right now, whether this is the bear market, the cold winter, crypto winter, whatever this is, I'm looking at this moment in time as the real time to take advantage and evolve this and really make your mark. Okay, not when everything is all saturated and everybody's in the space, but now when there's nobody left in the space, or very few people. Okay, all right guys, peace out, break. Have a good game, have a great Taco Tuesday, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow bright and early for my YouTube live stream. By the way, I'm not quite sure about the time because the time change hasn't happened out here in Mexico yet. It doesn't happen until next month, so I'm kind of like all over the place with the time. It's kind of weird, but whatever. Thanks for being so patient, and I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next, same bat time, same bat channel. You already know what's up. Peace.
If you take people, and I've told you this, and you expose them voluntarily to things that they are avoiding and are afraid of, that they know they need to overcome in order to meet their goals, their self-defined goals. If you can teach people to stand up in the face of the things they're afraid of, they get stronger. And you don't know what the upper limits to that are, because you might ask yourself, like, if for 10 years, if you didn't avoid doing what you knew you needed to do, by your own definitions, right, within the value structure that you've created to the degree that you've done that, what would you be like? Well, there are remarkable people who come into the world from time to time, and there are people who do find out over decades-long periods what they could be like if they were who they were, if they spoke their being forward. And they get stronger and stronger and stronger, and we don't know the limits to that. We do not know the limits to that. And so you could say, well, in part, perhaps the reason that you're suffering unbearably can be left at your feet, because you're not everything you could be, and you know it. And of course, that's a terrible thing to admit, and it's a terrible thing to consider, but there's real promise in it, right? Because it means that perhaps there's another way that you could look at the world, and another way that you could act in the world, so what it would reflect back to you would be much better than what it reflects back to you now. And then the second part of that is, well,